When did you do your first adult bid?
In 72.
And explain that situation. Break that down to me a little bit.
Well, see, in D.C., we had juvenile facilities, Maple Glen, for the guys 8 to 15. From 15 to 17, you had Cedar Knoll. From 17 to 21, we had Oak Hill. So it was like a graduation. You know, you go to Maple Glen, say, little so-and-so over Maple Glen. How? He ain't but 10, 11. You know what I mean? So I'm there at 14. And all my friends is over the older joint. We know who over there, so it just be a matter of time for us to get over there. So it's like an education. It's like a prison education. You know what I mean? So we go on the street, catch another case, say too old to go back over here, so you send them to the other joint, and you around older guys. You around older guys with more experience. You know what I mean? And the first thing you taught, when we was young growing up in D.C., we hear about the receiving home. The receiving home is the first place you go to designate you where you go. That's the first lockup facility. So we was here, guess what, old receiving home? And as always with stores, don't let nobody take your toast. Don't let nobody take your chair. And don't let nobody take your cigarette at a smoke break. But I ain't never smoked. So we said, what's up with the toast? They said, that's slabs. Don't let nobody take your toast. And you hear the stories about, don't let nobody feel you on your butt. Don't tell nothing. And fight back. So you prepared for that. So when you first go over there, it's like, he made it. He oversees him home. You know, then when everybody comes up, what was it like over there? To be honest with you, we used to look forward to going because, you know what I mean? Our brothers and them were before us.
Yeah. It jack your Mac up. You come home,
yeah.
you got them stripes.
So when I got my first adult case, all my boys that was in the juvenile joints with me, coming up from 14, they was already there. So they waiting on me. You know what I mean? And Lorton was, man, you hear so many horror stories about Lorton, you know what I mean? And you hear about dudes, man, that you thought was tough or could fight and went to Lorton and couldn't make it. And so, but now, it's important to point out that if a dude got a reputation that can fight, you know what I mean, you hear about what he doing down there before you get there, you know. So it was a experience that now I'm a man.
Yeah.
I'm in my first adult joint. Now I'm a man, you know. And you see all your buddies you grew up with down there. You see old dudes down there that's been down there 4 years, 5 years. Damn. Because normally in the juvenile joints, you do 6 months, 9 months, or a year, you on the street. But when you're around dudes that doing years, you know, it's a reality check that, man, I'm with the big boys now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was in 72 when I got my first adult conviction.
Now, isn't it crazy how to us that's a badge of honor when we're at that age, right?
Yeah,
we know, all right, the girls is gonna like us, you know, as long
Right.
as we don't tell and we go in there and handle our business.
Right.
You know, the dudes is gonna look at us differently.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna, you know, that's better than a college education.
Especially if you're a first-time father. You know, your girl bring your baby down and, you know what I mean? You tell her, man, Rose coming down tonight. She gonna bring my daughter. Alice coming down.
Yeah.
You know, so that's when you get an epiphany of this is what my life gonna be like. Because I'm down here with some gangsters. I'm down here with some killers and stick-up boys. And, you know what I mean? And that's when you make a decision. When I go on the street again, this is what I'm going to do.
Now, let me ask you something. At that time, did you think you would be alive to see the age? How old are you right now?
I'm 70. I'll be 71.
Did you think you would be alive to see 70 years old?
I never even thought about it.
No. Did you think you would be free to see 70 years old?
No. Never thought I'd be free.
So you sort of assumed your life was
I thought I was going to die in jail.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. I came to realization that there's a possibility that I might die in jail, but I always had hope and faith that something gonna happen for me. I'm coming out of here. I always believed I was coming out because I know they ain't had me right. But at the same time, I was prepared to die in jail because every day you have a mindset that kill or be killed. When you live a certain lifestyle and you living on the edge, you know what I mean? And if you're a so-called leader, you know somebody might come at you at any time to get a name or if it's a war jumped off, you got to kill him. You know what I mean? So I was prepared to die, but at the same time, I always felt like I had a chance to come in the street again, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. How much time have you spent in prison, brother?
I gave him 50 years.
50 years in prison, right?
50 years.
How much of that time was spent in the ADX and solitary confinement? How much time was spent?
26 years, man. And this is what a lot of people don't know. See, when I got put out of the D.C. Department of Corrections in 1994, they sent me back to Marion, Illinois. And when I got back to Marion, Illinois, I didn't know that the administration was contacted by the Justice Department in BOP. We sending such and such back that was in Marion back in the 80s. And you know they killed Cadillac Smith Ill, his leader. And you know he got stabbed when he was in the feds. So me coming back and all the young guys had been hearing about me, and the guys that knew me that was there, they said, uh-oh, fly back. So, unbeknownst to me, a lot of guys start pumping their chests out like, this is what we got to do now. He back. We know this is what he wanted to do. But I'm under investigation for a kingpin case. So I ain't thinking about war or nothing. I'm thinking about if they don't convict me on this case, I'm going in the street because I want to go home. And I know that they didn't have nothing. So make a long story short, a war jumped off. And they said I ordered it. And the administration said that I ordered a war for retaliation when I got stabbed in Terre, Haute in 86 by 2 white supremacists. And they thought that I'm coming back on madman time. Since I'm back in the feds, that's what we got to do. But that wasn't my mindset. But my young homies that knew me from Lorton and used to hear these war stories, they think this is what I want them to do. Plus, they was manipulated by a little weak dude out of D.C. that was scared and tricked one of my little co-defendants, little man James, and they took off and crushed everything on the yard. Everything wasn't colored on the yard got crushed. If you wasn't black, brown, or our color, and they locked me up, and the warden came to see me, say, you ought to just walk. But once he locked me up, it escalated because my homies is scared that's out there because while I was there, I was galvanizing my little men together and saying, there's a possibility this might happen one day. But everything was at a standstill. Wasn't no animosity, you know. They sent me to Colorado.
Well, hold up. I don't want to get there yet. I wanna go back a little bit.
Go ahead.
Right. So let's start at Lorton.
Lorton?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Lorton.
Go ahead.
So explain to the viewers the dynamics of Lorton and
Lorton.
because Lorton is called
Lorton. 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 The dynamics of Lorton.
Yeah, because a lot of people are under the assumption that if you catch a crime in DC, it's automatically federal. It's not correct.
That's not, no.
Okay.
Now it is because we don't have no prison.
Yeah.
You know, they closed Lorton down.
Yep.
But back then, you know, Lorton was like another part of the project, 25 minutes from the city. So, you know what I mean? Lorton was sweet, man. It was like the projects. You know what I mean?
Your first time there,
72.
72. And what did you end up going there for?
As youth, in my youth act, I had a burglary charge.
Okay.
An armed burglary.
How long you spent there?
I came home June 15th, 73, 9 months.
What was it like? Take me there, going in reception. Y'all wear street clothes at the time?
You wear gray khakis and blue shirt, your own shoes. And then in the evening, you could wear your own clothes. But during the day, we just had to wear gray khakis and a blue shirt.
Got you. So after 5 o'clock or whatever time, you get to dress down.
Wear where we want to wear jeans, tennis shoes, yeah.
A lot of violence.
Yeah, a lot of violence every day.
Yep. House of Pain, correct?
House Pain came later.
Okay. So what type of things was going on there? Take me back to some of those.
72 I was over youth center. That was your introduction into your first adult child case in your first adult prison. But youth center was you could be 16 or 26 and get a youth act. So that's an adult conviction, but you're not over Big Lorton where all the big boys doing life. 30 years, 45 years. Youth center was it wasn't a juvenile joint, but it was where the youth was that the courts didn't feel like was ready to go over to big penitentiary with the lifers and guys, you know, they're doing straight time.
So they were sort of giving the juveniles another chance. That's your last chance before
your last chance
we send you up the way.
Yeah.
Got you.
They guys over there from 16 to 26.
All right.
You can get 6 months to 6 years at the time. If you have serious charge, you can get a 20-year youth act. A 20-year youth act was the largest youth act you can get back then.
So you come home from doing those 9 months.
June 15, 73.
How long until you end up back?
Came back in 3 months later.
What did you go back for?
Assault on a police officer and 17 armed robberies and a UUV.
Okay. What's a UUV?
Unauthorized use of a vehicle.
Got you.
But still a stolen car.
Yeah. How much time you end up doing out of that?
Well, I came in. See, Frank, when I came home June 15th, see, previously I used to be a dope boy. I used to sell dope for my brother-in-law. I used to sell heroin for my brother-in-law. You know, and the older dudes in my neighborhood, I used to sell dope for them. But like I was telling you, when you get your first adult conviction, you're learning things from the older guys with serious crimes. So for some reason, I was intrigued with the stick-up boys. You know what I mean? So when I came home in June, old time in my neighborhood named Billy Valentine gave me a rifle. He said, man, take this rifle, get this rifle out of this house, man. So while I was gone them 9 months, a lot of my buddies started sticking up. So I got with certain guys in my neighborhood that were sticking up. I mean, they going to jewelry stores, they robbing dope boys, supermarkets, giant Safeways. So I started sticking up. And I had a vicious crew. Then I had other buddies of mine living in other neighborhoods that I know from the joints. My little brother, Ike Pendergrass Hill, was known for being one of the most baddest bank robbers in the city. You know what I mean? He like my little brother. I go get Ike, I go get Johnny Kibler. So me, Ike, Johnny Kibler, when Pretty Willie came home, he used to be one of the best boxers in D.C. He used to punish Sugar Ray Leonard. So me, Ike, Johnny Boy Kibler, Pretty Willie sticking up. Then some of my buddies in my neighborhood, we sticking up. So I was known to be a stick-up boy, and people was trying to kill me because I was robbing my buddies I grew up with and everything. I'm taking everybody's dope, and I was getting high, and people was looking for me. So when I came in, I got a bunch of armed robberies. But before I came in, older guy that I met in prison, I seen him, he came home, and I took him on a caper with me. Then he took me on another caper, and we'll get to that later on about what I got the life for. So I came in with several rounds, but my initial charge, I had an armed robbery, assault on a police officer, and a UUV. And that was my first conviction. But back then in D.C., the courts would give you a plea to anything. So they gave me a plea to receiving stolen property because I said the car wasn't mine, the buddy gave it to me. So they said, but just take a cop to the whole thing. And they gave me 2 to 8. That was my first time sentence when I came back in, 2 to 8 years for receiving stolen property.
Where you do that at Lorton?
Yeah, I went to Lorton. And then they sent me to the feds in 74. And
what was the reason they sent you to the feds? Was it you was getting into it in Lorton, or?
Yeah, no, I wasn't getting into it. It's just that my the court said they feel I'd be better off in the federal system. And my lawyer and them went with it. Plus, back then, Lorton used to send you, they just transferred dudes who got co-defendants and ain't want you together. Or,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So where did you?
But I went to for a study on another. No, I made a mistake. They sent me to the feds for another youth study to see if I can get another youth act on some pending charges. That's how I wound up in the feds on the Youth Correctional Act. So they sent me to Ashland, Kentucky in 1974.
Explain that to me. Walk me through there, landing there in the feds.
Okay, they sent me to Ashland, Kentucky to see if I was eligible for another youth act instead of an adult straight sentence. And that's my first time in the federal system. That's my first time being around other races.
How old are you at that time?
20.
Okay.
They sent me back, and I got to 8 years. When I came back to Kentucky, they said I couldn't stay there because I was too aggressive. And they sent me in fact, I'm going to leave you the paperwork saying all that before I leave, for response so you can have it in case you need it. So they sent me to Petersburg, Virginia, from Kentucky, because Kentucky said I couldn't stay there. And one of the guys told on me on the armed robbery was there and told the people that he told on me on the armed robbery, so I couldn't come out.
Yeah, they didn't want to let you in.
So they sent me to Tallahassee, Florida. The pending case I had, they took me back to court and gave me a 9-year sentence. So I got the 2 to 8, and I got the 3 to 9. In 75, they gave me the 9.
Was they running concurrent or running wild?
Concurrent.
Okay.
Concurrent. So now Tallahassee was like a college campus. I just ran all through that. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm down there in Florida. And so I started a ride, and they sent me to Terre, Haute.
What was the situation behind the ride?
Police tried locking me up, and I said, y'all ain't locking me up. And I told all my homies, I said, come on, man, everybody outside, we gonna fight the police. I just was wild and young and, aggressive.
I think to some people, this sounds so foreign. Some people...
That was prison life.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way, I think that's a certain frame of mind that we have. That's just the way it go. That's just another day.
See, this is what happened, Frank. I don't know if you're familiar with DC dudes, how we carried it back in the days. Whoever was in the prison or joint that had the most heart or that was the best with his hands, guys follow you. So now remember, I'm a stick-up boy. So when I go to Tallahassee and I see white guys selling pounds of weed, and you know my homies saying, "Don't come here with that nonsense, fly, cause man, it's John Sweeten." So I'm taking these dudes' weed. I'm taking ounces and pounds and distributing them to all my homies. And a guy tried to hit me with a hammer out of Tennessee, and I took the hammer and knocked him out. And my homie said, he came here with that nonsense, man. And I just was wild. I just was one of them dudes, you couldn't talk to me. You know what I mean? I surrounded myself with dudes that was like-minded. You know, wild like me, ready to go at the drop of a hat. What we gonna do? You know what I mean? So one of my homies who supposed to been the leader there at the time, I ain't gonna call his name, but I gave him his props because he was there before me. You know, I said, man, I give you that. You know, you running stuff. But I gave him some weed. And he said, you can't give me that little bit of weed you give everybody. You gotta give me some more. I said, that's what I gave you. And he called me out.
And let me just get this straight. You was just on the lookout. I came up.
Yeah, I came up. I
tell you something.
You distribute everybody something.
Absolutely.
So I said, here go yours. But by him supposed to be, the shot caller, I said, here go yours, man. And he said, that ain't enough for me. I said, I gave you more than everybody else. He said, I want some more. So I whipped him. And I whipped him, and I took his watch after I whipped him, and I left him in the bathroom. So everybody say, guess who Fly just whipped? So my name is starting, So I'm running the joint. I'm running the whole compound in Tallahassee, Florida. And, people say, he ain't gonna last. He too wild. Every day he doing something. So when I started the ride, they locked the prison down and sent me to Terre, Indiana in 1975. That was my first United States penitentiary.
So when they transfer you, did they lock you up in a hole there? Or they just threw you straight on the bus?
No, they locked me in a hole. They whipped me and everything.
Oh yeah, of course.
They whipped me in. It was a black school teacher worked there that was pro-black. It was black revolutionary.
Yeah.
School teacher, and he used to love me. He used to try to. They had to call him from home that night because they whipped me so bad. And he came from home. He said, y'all can't whip that man like that. As he started to ride, he did. He said, you can't whip him like that. He said, man, they're going to send you to another prison. I'm going to stay here, man, until the morning. Make sure they don't whip you no more. And he saved me, man. And they sent me to Terre, Haute. Now, when I get to Terre Haute...
Before you get there real quick, and I'm sorry, do you remember that brother's name?
Nah, I can't. No. I got to call my homie Mel Mahal, because Mel Mahal was his favorite, and he stayed in touch. I'm going to find his name.
It'd be a beautiful thing to be able to find that brother.
I can get his name. Yeah, I can get his name. I can get his name because my homie Mel Mahal stayed in touch with him, and Melvin was his favorite.
Yeah, and I've had people throughout my time do that same thing for me.
Yeah.
And that means a lot when we have somebody do that, because they're risking their job, their career,
and
their well-being.
He used to send for me, and I wasn't even. He said, "Come on down, man," and you got to slow down, young brother. And he giving me knowledge. He teaching me stuff about history, about people that I didn't know, and he naming leaders and stuff because he seen something in me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'll come down, spend some time with him, and he was real, man, popular amongst the black dudes there. Like I say, he was pro-black. And man, they called him from home when they whipped me. And he came in there. But I'm going to get his name for you.
Please do.
I can get his name. I can call Mel Mahal and get his name.
So you land in
I landed in Terre Haute, and I'm one of the youngest dudes out of D.C.
They put you straight in the hole with Terre Haute?
They let me out.
Okay.
I got straight out. Back then, they ain't do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Back then, they ain't kidding. This 75, they ain't kidding. So now, I'm there with the older guys, and the leader there was 90 Pine. I knew him from the street. I used to go with his sister, and he was a shot caller there, And I got there, and all of them, they gave me clothes and food and put me in a cell with one of my homies named William Rome. We used to call him Tony Rome. I was his cell partner. And I'm the youngest dude out of D.C. there. And I joined the Moles. I was one of the Moles in the Mole Science. I really joined the Moles in 74 in Lorton. My co-defendant brought me in the Moles. But when I got to Terre, Haute, I'm seeing how Moors function from other parts of the country. How unified they was, how strong they was in the joint, and how respected they was. So the Grand Sheik, Garland Rush Bay out of St. Louis, he told my homie Sharp Bay, he said, man, this young brother here gonna be somebody. And they trying to keep me in the mold, but I'm young and wild, man. It's my first penitentiary. So we was in the movie. DC, I had their own section in the movies back in the days. Every joint you go to, DC got their own section. So all the old times, man, I mean, they embraced me, gave me everything I need, and slow down, youngsters, don't come here with that nonsense. So one of my homies tried me. We was in the movie. And he put his leg on top of my leg, and my partner, Michael Wiley Ill, who was the one named me Fly, we together. So Najah put his leg on my knee. I said, what you doing, man? He said, apparently, young MF, you don't know who I am. And I push his leg off. I say, I'm going to meet you right now. Let's go. So certain dudes out of D.C. went out, and all the moles came out. So the moles say, let them go one-on-one. Big old weightlifter, strong dude. And I whipped him. And after I whipped him, the whole prison, everybody did say, that youngster, they can go. You know what I mean? And I said, we gonna fight again tomorrow. He said, I ain't fighting you no more. Next time, put that knife in.
Gotta give